Good morning and welcome back to Other Worlds Wednesday on Gaming with ADHD, where we take a look at various different role-playing games. And today we've got a deal for you. It's not from me, but it's the Humble Bundle Mutant Chronicles bundle review. Now, I'm doing this because I previously did one for the Humble Bundle Starfinder review. And if you saw that one, I broke it down to look at what was available through the offer and basically my thoughts on whether it was a good deal. Now, I'm a big fan of Mutant Chronicles. I will be honest, I've actually never played a role-playing game of Mutant Chronicles, but I owned the original role-playing game back in the 90s. I owned many of the cards for Doom Trooper, although never got to play it as well. And I was a backer for the Siege of the Citadel 2nd Edition Kickstarter, which you've probably seen on this channel. If not, there's a lot of videos about that, so definitely go check that out. So, basically, I will just go through a little bit of an overview, what it is, why I think it's an interesting setting. Then we'll break down the bundle, and I'll give some final thoughts on it. All right, so first off, Humble Bundle, if you are not aware, is a site that partners with publishers and charities. Now, they got their start with video games. I actually did an entire video on Humble Bundle and Bundle of Holding, which are very similar in how they operate. I will have that linked in the description below if you want to check that out. But the short answer is, they got started with video games, but they've since branched out into doing other things. They'll do variety of software, they'll do books, they'll do comics, they'll do role-playing games. I've gotten a few bundles from them, and this is one that caught my eye. They are partnering with two charities for this. The first is the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and the second is World Reader. What I was able to read about World Reader is that their aim is to get low-cost digital books into the hands of people in need. So, obviously, there's a couple of good groups there, and some of the purchase will go towards that. So just do keep that in mind. One other thing to keep in mind is that when you are making your purchase, you do actually have some options to adjust how much goes to the publisher, how much goes to Humble Bundle, and how much goes to the charities. The one caveat to that is that there is a minimum level for Humble Bundle. You used to be able to set that to 0, but they do actually enforce a minimum amount for them now, which I will be honest, I had seen that some people were upset, they didn't like that, but the fact that they then have to host a lot of this content, sometimes they will give product codes for other services, be it things like Steam, or when I did the Starfinder one, it was a code to use on the Paizo website, but sometimes they just host the stuff locally. I have a few different bundles that I've gotten through them where I have to go to their website to download the content every time. Mutant Chronicles is one of those, so you will have to download it from their website. So, what is Mutant Chronicles? I'm not going to go into the whole history of it. There is a lot of detail there, but the short answer, it is a post-apocalyptic science fiction where Earth is a wasteland, sort of. Basically, the Earth environment was collapsing. Humanity moved out into the solar system, terraformed the moon, Mars, Venus, established colonies on Mercury, the moons of the outer planets, and then it released a big evil, alien entity, essentially. It is very similar to Warhammer 40,000, without the constant depressing overtones. To me, Mutant Chronicles does have a veneer of hope to it. The big bad evil is sort of biblical in nature. Be it like it's Satan or the four horsemen of the apocalypse mentioned in Revelation. Something similar to that. It is not exactly that, but it does kind of have those tones. In addition, there's one of the factions, the Brotherhood, which very much has a religious style and tone to it, amongst all of the other corporation factions which represent the different nations. So like I said, it is multiple human factions that give you different tones. There's one that's based on the United States, the UK, Japan, and Germany. And then they added in a few others later on. But basically everything that the players typically will play is one of the quote-unquote good human factions. The other is the alien demon. They are known as the Dark Symmetry, and basically they are, demons and devils. There's not a whole lot of alien races. Humanity has not left the solar system. They've just colonized the different planets. All right. They also call it diesel punk, just in case you've ever heard that term. Basically, it has sort of a retro science fiction feel to it. Technology is unreliable at times because of the Dark Symmetry. Basically, it will corrupt any advanced technology. And so the amount of advanced technology that you actually see, with the exception of the Cybertronic faction, is typically minimal. It's enough to have ships that can travel through the solar system in a matter of days, but, not a very, bright, super mega advanced, technology base. And this is the third edition of the game. It was released through Kickstarter in 2017. So it's been out for a few years. All right. Now, there are 3 different tiers in the bundle. Each tier allows you to adjust how much you're going to give to the publisher, the charity, and the bundle. Like I said earlier, Humble Bundle did change the slider system. And as I said, they do continue to host that content. So there are additional costs there. Now, as you pay for the higher tiers, it does also include the lower tiers as well. So as long as you are paying at least a certain amount, you will get everything for each tier below. So the first is actually a $1 tier. And you get 12 items. They are all in PDF. You're going to get the 3rd edition core rulebook, the player's guide, the Dark Symmetry campaign, the Universal Index, the Quick Start handout. So it basically gives you some simple rules, pre-made characters, and an adventure to go on, and the character sheets. And then you're also going to receive a 50% discount on the physical book from Modiphius directly. Now, all told, this tier is worth about $30 if you don't take the 50% discount into account. The index, the quick start, and the character sheets, those are all free. So you don't have to pay for those anyways. But Humble Bundle does have a tendency to include things like that. It may be free normally, but maybe it's something that somebody won't think of or won't find. And so it's just an easy way to include that in what people get and then just have it all in one place. Now, the next tier is the $10 tier. Now, this gives you 14 items total, so it gives you the original 7, plus it's going to give you the source book for all of the main good guy factions. So the Brotherhood, Bauhaus, Capital, Cybertronic, Imperial, White Star, and Mishima. Those are, as I said, all of the main factions for humanity. They are technically at odds with each other, but it's similar to, life right now. You have different countries. They trade with each other. They work with each other. But they are also sometimes at odds with each other. So basically, you play it however you want. White Star is a little bit different because it is a faction that is based on Earth, because not all of humanity got off of Earth and some of them survived. And so the White Star sourcebook will detail those factions, because there's actually a couple others in there. And they are all technically located on Earth, although occasionally they do get off of Earth and do other things. And this level of bundle gives it a value of about $120.91. All right, so for our final tier is $18. So for $18, you're going to get 30 items. All of them are in PDF, but this time it's going to add an additional core rulebook, but this time set up for the Savage World Explorers Edition. This is just the core book, so it's not all of the books. I don't know why this is the only book that's ever been done for Savage Worlds, but it is out there. So if you prefer the Savage World system, you will get that rulebook as well. You're also going to get 3D printable heroes. So if you have a 3D printer or know somebody with a 3D printer, you can print out Mutant Chronicles specific heroes to use as player characters for your game, or just to have for fun, whatever the reason is. The nice thing about those figures, I have not seen them anywhere else. All of the other books, I actually already own them. And I got them through Bundle of Holding previously. And so I have all of those through Drive-Thru RPG. But even Drive-Thru RPG does not have the 3D printed heroes. And even other websites that Modiphius does use for some 3D products don't have the Mutant Chronicles heroes there either. So if you want those, this might be the only place to get it. But continuing on, you're going to get the Dark Legion campaign, the Dark Eden sourcebook, the Dark Eden campaign. So Dark Eden is going to basically be a complementary book towards the White Star sourcebook, because it will detail more about Earth and what's happening on Earth. You're going to get 4 decks of cards: the Location, Chronicle, NPC, and Symmetry decks, the Dark Soul sourcebook, the GM screen, the Luna and Freelancer's Guide, the Mutant and Heretics Guide, the Cartel and Orbital sourcebook, an art book, and the Venusian Apocalypse campaign. This is, from what I can tell, every single product that's available for the Mutant Chronicles 3rd edition role-playing game for $18. So, in total, you're looking at about from what they say on the website, a $394 value. I mean, for $18, I mean, you can't complain about it. So, for the content, you're getting, like I said, the core rulebook, all faction source books, 3 campaigns, 4 random generator decks. I made a mistake there. And as far as the value, if you are interested in Mutant Chronicles, then it is absolutely of value. If you just want to try a new system, it is absolutely a great value. And honestly, in my opinion, while they do give the 3 different tiers, I literally cannot think of a reason to not do the top tier. Just the fact that you get all of the books for the entire series, I think that's a fantastic deal there. So, like I said, what I think is good about it, you get the complete collection. This is the original setting for the 2D20 system from Modiphius. So they've actually taken it and expanded it into a variety of different licensed products, from Conan, a Cthulhu setting, which I believe might be their own, but don't quote me on that. Infinity from Corvus Belli, which I've covered on the channel many times, and many others. They just released one for Dune this year. They're doing one for Fallout. I believe actually Fallout might be out already, and they've got a couple of more announced that they're coming out with soon. Now, I also like the fact that they give you Savage Worlds Explorers Edition for Mutant Chronicles as an option. You do still need the Savage World Adventurers Edition rulebook, but you get the setting book for Mutant Chronicles in there. And as far as the actual content itself, compared to what they had for the original role-playing game or even second edition, there were only a few books that I was aware of at the time. Keep in mind, this is over 20 years ago that I had it. They've actually expanded a lot since then. They've done the fact that they done Dark Eden and White Star. At the time, I knew of Dark Eden because of the Doom Trooper card game, but that was it. I didn't know of any books. I don't remember reading anything out of the rule books about Earth. It was just, nope, Earth is uninhabited and you can't go there. And so just do everything else. Also, again, the 2D20 system is very solid. I've been wanting to do a review of the system, but they've actually adapted it pretty extensively based on the property that they're using. And so like the Dune system actually ends up being very different from the Mutant Chronicles system, but it still uses the core 2D20 mechanic. So you can learn one of the games and easily jump into one of the other settings if those interest you as well. So for $18 to get a taste of an entire product line and an entire game system, I think that's a fantastic option. All right, so what do I think is bad about this? Well, honestly, what is bad about getting an entire collection for less than $20? I literally had to force myself to come up with something that I thought was a negative outside of maybe you just don't like Mutant Chronicles. The biggest downside that I've found about this is that, to me, because I do not have any insider information about this, it appears that Modiphius has stopped production of new content. They haven't released any new source books or any new material in quite some time. So if you are looking for, expanded content, moving forward of the storyline, anything like that, they're not doing it. I'm not seeing any new adventures coming out. And it may just be the popularity of the system. Mutant Chronicles is very niche, but, that's... It is what it is. So, couple of final thoughts. So first off, a full collection for less than the cost of many source books from other companies. Typically, getting a source book for $20, even in PDF form, is pretty lucky when you can find it. I know I've been doing a lot of Shadowrun products, and most of those are about $20 when they release, and I've been buying those new. So, to get all of this for less than $20, I think is fantastic. On top of that, Modiphius literally does make great looking products with fantastic art. I know they've reused some of the art from the original role-playing game, brought it forward and reused it in 3rd edition, but they've also commissioned a lot of new art that is very consistent, definitely keeps that look going through it. Obviously, not all art is going to land, but I think they did very well in a general sense. I'm very, very happy with it. One other thing I would mention, if you don't want a diesel punk setting, from Modiphius, also check out the Infinity role-playing game. Now, the reason that I'm mentioning that is because I think both of them have a very similar feel. They are both pretty much all humans versus one alien faction. Technically, Infinity has two, but the second one is sometimes an ally, sometimes an adversary, so it's kind of mixed there. But short answer, it's very, very similar. Lots of humans, different factions, different flavors, different feels, and one big alien bad guy. So go against the different humans, go against the aliens, whatever you want. The simple way I kind of described it is, Mutant Chronicles is Star Wars to Infinity's Star Trek. Infinity is a much more cleaner, higher tech, fancier version. Obviously, they've got their own lore and their own settings, but it's a simple way to think about them as far as that's concerned. Now, the downside to recommending Infinity is right now it is not on Humble Bundle, but I would recommend that you keep watching. I know Modiphius did one with Bundle of Holding previously, and I got some of the role-playing games through that. So they might do another one over there. They might do it on Humble Bundle, but I would obviously recommend keeping an eye on the website just in case. So with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope you find it useful. If you do, please give the video a thumbs up. If you are new here or you have not yet subscribed, I would absolutely appreciate it if you did so. I'm growing the channel. I keep trying to get some regular content on everything from tabletop to miniatures to role-playing games and everything in between. Basically, if you're going to put it on a table, throw some dice, flop some cards, we're going to try covering, all sorts of stuff like that. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.